manifesting once again from the haunted hallways of the Cult of Phantasm. The Keeper of Cult, Duke of Discordance, Extreme Music's favorite undead disc jockey, Putrid Paul.
Ghastly greetings, my miserable maggots. Follow me into the slime-encrusted vaults of the Cult of Phantasm as we pursue one of the underground's latest juggernauts, Venom Prison, Animus. This cruel consonance between death metal and hardcore aesthetic is a dissonant dance into a deep and unforgiving chasm of relentless fury. A ferocious and blood-curdling vocal style and pit-inducing progressions make this half-hour full-length a punishing marathon into the heart of misanthropic madness, with thought-provoking lyrics and subject matter that includes violent retribution, atheism, and a prepossession towards general misandry. The quintet's savage debut is a bloodthirsty intention that makes no hesitation in wrapping its avid jaws around your throat, leaving all skepticism towards brutality as well as your esophagus in ribbons. More than a few standout arrangements are present on Animus, and the album begs for repeated listens and deeper dives into the caustic mire of its auditory angst. Animus is a mandatory addition to any collector's horrible heap of melodic transgressions, as well as an absolute musical force to be reckoned with. 3 noteworthy songs: Celestial Patricide, a grimy ode to a glorious absence of faith. The track begins with a filth-ridden riff, with some deadly power chords in between dirty spurts of shreddy string abuse, followed by a section of melody with some demented dissonance in its wake. Another gut-bursting section before returning to a familiar melody. The track ends with more frantic riffing accompanied by desperate shrieks. We end with a spiraling guitar riff, transitioning into the preceding arrangement. Perpetrator, Emasculation, a short but powerful track, off the rails and hitting hard. In my opinion, this is the culmination of the album's lyrical drive and overall message of the entire endeavor. A glance at the lyrical content will assure you of the vengeful apex this song represents. Corrode the Black Sun. This track's main riff is a neck snapper, a shredding progression layered by chugs and percussion you can bang your skull to. The manic music that fills out the bulk of this song is volatile and unrepentant. Like most of Venom Prison's material, the composition is diverse with intricate points of pensive melody and lingering cacophony, perfectly blended with the malevolent rumble of guitar and percussion. There's no question to Venom Prison's validity and signature sound within a, dare I say it, at times mediocre music genre. This is truly fresh meat, and the satiating taste of blood is exhilarating to the emaciated tongue. And now the gory details. Members include Larissa Stupar, vocals, Ash Gray, guitar, Ben Thomas, guitar, Mike Jeffries, bass guitar, and Joe Sheehy, drums. Recorded and mixed by Tom Dring. Mastered by Alan Doches. Artwork by Elaran Cantor. And layout by Larissa Stupar. On Prosthetic Records. Some obvious highlights: interesting blend of aggressive music aesthetics, death, hardcore, and a touch of grind. Sinister audio samples to add to atmosphere. Distinct vocals, hair-raisingly passionate death shrieks. Unrelenting musical pace keeps your attention, an overall unique sound and musical style, and of course, some intense artwork with a message. The artwork speaks for itself, with a painfully obvious message that's more than a kick in the nuts, if you know what I mean. A truly horrific circumstance is unfolded here. The calm and collected smirk on the face of our main assailant, the silenced anguish of a restrained male casualty, and the overall surrealness of the image produces a nightmarish work of art that's easily burned into your brain matter, an initial omen offered before the seething hatred yet to come. And now it's time for our honorable mentions. Anasarka, Moribund. A succulent slice of raw, no-bullshit death, exceptionally underground, and unique in ways beyond musical composition. At its core, a concept album, All songs focus around the institution of capital punishment. In fact, every lyric is exact writings of individuals counting their last living hours on death row. After all said and done, this piece of music will have you pondering the elements of execution for nights on end. On Pavement Music, our next ear-splitting entree, Act of Impalement, Perdition Cult. This dreadful death act is for those of you who like their death metal gritty and cavernous, alternating between lumbering zombie riffs and buzzy blasting onslaughts. This release is set to satisfy, with songs like Disembowelment Rituals of Morlock, Ruins of Sarnath, and Sadistic Lycanthropic Rage. This is music straight out of the blackened nether bogs of eternal torment on Dark Descent and Unspeakable Acts Records. To wrap up this putrid pageant, Death Breath, Stinking Up the Night, a worthy little exercise in the old school way, with some tongue-in-cheek. This album provides the perfect soundtrack for those times you find yourself being chased through the forest by a crazed maniac, or perhaps an unseen and malicious force in a 1980s campy horror flick. Pop this in on the ride home from Slasher Night at the drive-in movies, if your head's still attached, that is, on Black Lodge and Psych Out Records. And there we have it. Death Breath, Act of Impalement, Anasarca, and Venom Prison. Remember to do your damnedest to support underground death metal, and buy a physical copy at any cost. Stay fucking gory.
Join your host Corey Gorchrist and Dr. Vincent West for exclusive interviews with the sickest bands of metal and more. Head over to CultofFantasm.com, the only gravesite for all things horror and death metal. No filler, all killer.